Okay, this is going to be our first entry in a new series that I'm starting called Should You Stay or Go in a Marriage or Relationship? And the reason I'm making this series because I know we all, well, most people, majority of people, we all been in some type of relationship, whether it be a long term relationship or even a marriage, and at some points even engaged. But you got to know when to stay. When you got to decide on when should you stay or when should you go. That goes for both the men and the women. But I'm more likely going to be holding men more accountable because it seems like we're the ones that usually get caught up in a whole lot of, a whole lot of mess and stuff that we shouldn't get caught up in. And a lot of times that we're, as men, as always not always forthcoming and upright in these situations and circumstances. But some women are too, but mainly I'm going to really be addressing the men. All right, we're going to begin with, we're going to start here with this court case here. And of course, they're going to talk about it. And of course, I'm going to be giving my commentary. All right, let's begin.
The Holy Spirit revealed that he was still on it and updated it.
Your Honor, the same picture that drew me to him, he even tried to change the picture. It's the same picture.
But wait a minute, that picture worked. He got you.
That's not me. That's a catfish page. That's obvious that that's not me.
All right, so Mr. Guillory, I have a two-part question for you.
All right, let me say this before the judge continue. Look, if you are in a serious committed relationship or even engaged or even married, you shouldn't even be on no dating site anyway. If you're in a real serious committed relationship or dating or even married, that goes not just for the men, but also goes for the women as well too. Okay, let's continue.
First part, why didn't you delete the profile that you had? And then secondly, why did you update it once you got to Houston if you were supposed to be getting a new start?
I don't remember going on that, doing none of that. For one, I thought I did delete that profile. I don't know how she...
So you thought you deleted it, but apparently...
I had tried to delete it.
Let me say this, fellas. When you're in a situation or circumstance or something like this, and if something like this happens, you get caught up, just be a man, be truthful, and just own it. Just straight up own it. Just straight up own it. But also, let me say this too. If you, this goes for both men and the women as well. But look, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're not sure about them, or you're not sure if you can trust them, you're not sure if they're cheating or messing around, if you feel that you can't trust them, then you need to leave them alone. You should move on, leave them alone. It shouldn't even get to this point where you have to bring them to court. If I was with someone, young lady, and we got serious or whatever like this, or even if we were married, and she talking about we going to this couples court, I'm not having it. Either you're going to be with me, you're going to trust me, or if you can't trust me, then let's move on. And more likely, if a woman tells me that she's having issues or problems with trusting me, I'm going to tell her either she move on or she keeps bringing up the situation, then I'm going to move on. So, guys, that's how you alleviate a lot of these issues and problems. Same goes for you women as well, too. If you're in a situation and stuff like this, and you got to go through all this, then obviously you shouldn't even be with the person. You should just call it quits, move on, go find someone else. All right, let's continue.
Right, but apparently you didn't. So that answers the first part of my two-part question. Mm-hmm. The second part is, why does your old profile that you thought you deleted but didn't, how is it magically and mysteriously updated to show
it's a location thing. I think it's a location thing. It's like wherever you at, it just jump on that city. That's what I think. That's my story. When we went to Houston, it followed me.
It followed you.
Yes, that's what happened.
All right. What else?
What other one is out?
Let me say this. Usually with a profile, whatever state you lived in, and the profile, see, the only way the profile is gonna know that you moved or something unless you go in and update the file. Say you moved from Houston to Dallas. The only way the profile is gonna know that you moved from Houston to Dallas, if you go in there and update it yourself, say that you moved from there to there. Come on, brother. Be honest, man. Keep it real. You would have then updated that profile because you were still trying to hook up with someone else. Whatever. That's why you kept the profile up. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, Your Honor, I'm cleaning out the truck. I find condoms in the truck. Okay, so, Your Honor, I sent the picture. I have evidence to show y'all.
Okay, you submitted that to the court?
Yes, there you go, the condoms right there. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I don't even wear them.
We don't wear none.
So you all don't use condoms?
We don't.
So then,
let me say this too, real quick, as we continue on this case here. If you in a relationship, and especially you and your lady don't use condoms, why is you even having condoms in the first place? Or if you is gonna, or you shouldn't be doing nothing anyway. But if you are gonna do it, at least you know, like you say, do use condoms. But at least don't put them somewhere or put them somewhere they could be easily found. Anyway, let's continue.
there's no reason why condoms should be in the truck.
Your Honor, we did receive condoms one time together when we went to the clinic together. Okay. And those condoms.
Let me say this too, and I agree with her, and I think a lot of people in relationships, should definitely do this. Like, it maybe if you're going to do something like this, you definitely should maybe do it in the beginning. Especially if you're going to be having sex unprotected, there's nothing wrong with going to the clinic and getting checked out to show that you don't have any STDs or any venereal diseases, and for her to show that she doesn't have any STDs or venereal disease too. So I will give her credit about taking her her and her man and going to the clinic and getting checked out to make sure that both of them are disease free. All right, let's continue.
Because I sent two pictures for y'all. Y'all should have another one for exhibit. The ones on the left were the ones that were found in the truck. The one on the right is the ones that we got together when we both walked to the clinic. So not only did you find them, that means he went out and purchased them? Yeah. And why they was in the truck? If we using them, why they not in the bedroom? Right. Why they in the truck? So I got a couple questions for you, Mr. Gilroy.
2 parts?
2 parts.
3 parts?
Maybe. One, did you go buy these condoms? Because clearly they're different.
No, I did not. See what happened? We went on 2 separate days. She went one day, then I went the next day. So maybe the day she went, they was giving out a different brand. I don't know how they do that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Let me say this real quick. If they gave you condoms, you're not using them, and you're not messing around with anybody, why would you even take them? You should have left them there. Or if they did give them to you, whatever, you should have tossed them. Or gave them to somebody else say, I don't use these, man. Here you go. Give them to a friend or something. All right. Anyway, let's continue.
Why were the condoms in the truck as opposed to the bedroom?
Because we don't use them.
So you just left them in the car?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. The ones that came from the clinic, were they left in the car? Where were they? No, they were in the bedroom because obviously we needed to use them when we came from the clinic.
I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know nothing about all.
Okay.
So your memory so far is not that good, Mr. Guillory, and I'm trying to.
Let me say this for the judge can tell you. Everybody's memory is on good because he know that he's not being upfront. He's not being upfront and righteous. He's not being upfront and telling the truth. That's why his memory. That's why he's brushing stuff off, trying to dismiss it and everything because he knows he's guilty. Come on, brother, man up. Shaquille O'Neal will say, "Man up, man. Just own it, brother." Anyway, let's continue.
I'm trying to, be objective about this because first you don't remember, your profile, whether you deleted it or not. Now you don't know where these condoms come from. So you're batting 0 for 2 in terms of memory right now.
I have no recollection of the events in question.
What evidence do you have that Mr. Guillory is in fact cheating?
None.
Yeah. Well, she thinks you do. Let me hear what you think you got. I was decorating some Christmas trees, and we was having a little FaceTime conversation. He's promising me to be in my life forever, like he always do. So I'm thinking everything going well.
All right, let me say this real quick before she continue. Guys, don't make promises you can't keep. Be upfront and honest with a person. Don't be telling them telling the lady or telling the woman, "Hey, I love you, I want to be with you forever and everything," and then you know deep down inside that you really don't. You gotta be first. You gotta be truthful and honest with yourself, before you can be truthful and honest with someone else. And also, same thing go for you ladies too, because I know some ladies as well gets in relationships say, "I love you," or "I will never hurt you," "I will, never, do anything, you know, to break us up. I will always want to stay with you no matter what." And then a lot of times deep down inside, ladies, you really don't. So, like I said, both people got to be upfront and honest with each other about situations, circumstances, how you really feel about a person. Because people will say, both men and women, people will say one thing and then they'll do another. But people need to be, their word actions need to line up with their words. All right, let's continue.
So smooth, then all of a sudden he just hang up. Now his body language tells on him all the time because he'll just switch up and be like, and do some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I said to myself, I went and I got out the car and I went and took me a little drive by. So some said, "Oh, go around the corner." The Holy Spirit. I'm gonna stop saying something. The Holy Spirit told me to get in my car and go around the street where the X lives. X. I get to the X, baby. I put my wig on because I got short hair. He was going.
Let me say this real quick before she continue. Ladies, if you're with someone and you got to go through all this doing drive-by, sneaking around, falling behind the person, then that should tell you that you don't need to be with this person. It's time for you to go. And same thing with guys too. You following the woman around, you pulling drive-bys, following where they go, creeping up on them and everything, sitting out in the car, whatever, watching their house like your neighborhood watch and stuff. If you got to go through all that with a person, it's time to move on. It's time to let the person go. Whether it's man or woman. If a man gotta do that, it's time for you to let her go. And lady, if you gotta do all that with this guy, then it's time for you to let him go as well. Too many people out here. As the old saying goes, there's other fish in the sea. So it's too much. Too many people out here for that. All right, let's continue.
No, it was me.
So did the Holy Spirit tell you to put the wig on?
I put that wig on. Like, okay, quick.
A wig with long hair?
Long hair. Open, knock on the door. He opens the door in his boxers, no shirt. And I'm like, dude.
And let me also say this too. You got to be careful when you doing stuff like this and going to a person's house, because she going to this lady house here. I don't know, try to bust her man and everything like that. That's why I said never usually I go. Because what happens? She went to that woman's house and that woman seen her. That woman had a gun, put a gun out her, put a knife out her, jumped out, wanted to fight her and all that stuff. See, this stuff, that situations, things like that, you got to think about. Because a lot of people, end up getting hurt, if not seriously killed behind stuff like this. So you got to be careful when you do certain things like this. And like I say, if you got to go through all that, it's time to let the person go. No need to be involved with the person. You got to go through all this shenanigans and drama. Anyway, let's continue.
What you doing?
It's not the truth.
Look, this him.
I object.
All right, wait. We're going to have to hear from you, Mr. Gildery. First of all, were you at the ex's house?
First of all, okay.
Were you at the ex's house?
I was there.
Were you there in your underwear only?
That's the part where the story gets crazy. I was not in my underwear.
Did you have anything on?
Yeah, I had
all right.
pants.
I just was
And let me say this as well, too. If you're involved with someone and they over there at ex's house, then I should also tell you, too, that, hey, it's time to move on. It's time to go. Especially if y'all in a committed relationship and y'all establish, boundaries and everything. And that's another thing that couples need to do as well. Let me say this as well while it's on my mind. That's another thing couples need to do as well, too. Before getting in a serious committed relationship with each other, you need to both sit down. You need to set boundaries. You need to set about do's, don'ts, deal breakers, and things of that nature. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people don't do. A lot of people jump into relationships. They don't set boundaries. They don't say, hey, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to tolerate that. That's what people need to do, both men and women. Sit down, have a talk with each other, just let y'all know what's the do's and the don'ts and everything like that. And then if y'all both agree, then let it and then move forward. Then if it doesn't work out, or a person steps across those lines or break those boundaries, whether it be man or woman, then you have to decide on whether you want to give them another chance or whether you should move on. All right, let's continue.
But I don't know if y'all ever been to Louisiana. Y'all know it get hot.
It does get hot in Louisiana.
It's about to get hot in here, apparently.
It sure is, Donna.
So, I was over there. She knows that, in the beginning of our relationship, me and my ex, we still had a good friendship. So I'll go over there, I'll help out.
Let me say this real quick too. Usually with men and women, it's really no such thing as friends. The only way I can say a man and woman is really friends unless they grew up together since childhood, or unless if a woman has a guy friend, if that she grew up with the guy since childhood, or unless the guy gay. But if he's a heterosexual man and she's a heterosexual woman, then it's really no such thing friend. And by him having this ex as a friend, that lets you know that him and this ex were still messing around with each other. And usually when a guy decides to be a friend with a woman, it's usually he's just waiting his turn. He's usually a guy that she used to mess with, she's still messing with, or he's a guy, or he's just a guy waiting for his chance to hopefully one day that she will give him some or will mess with him. All right, let's continue.
Some things, and I was just, helping out, doing a little work, fixing up some things in our apartment for her. She was not even there.
Okay.
But you understand why she does not want you at your ex's house fixing and doing for her, right?
In your underwear.
I wasn't underwear. But yeah, that's understandable. I know how it look.
Well, if you know that, and that's the person you with, why do you do it? Tell her.
Yeah, that's true too. But like I say, he was in the wrong for being over his ex-girlfriend's house doing work and stuff for her and everything, when knowing that he's in a committed relationship. But then I also blame her as well too, that she should have recognized that as a sign that if he's over here at his ex-girlfriend's house doing work for her, even though she wasn't there at the time, quote unquote, that should have let her know right then and there, hey, I need to maybe move on. I need to let this guy go, because obviously she's having trust issues. If you're in a relationship, guys, this goes for the men and women both. If you're in a relationship and you have trust issues and you feel that you really can't truly trust a person, then I think it's time to, like I said, just let the relationship go. All right, let's continue.
Has anybody told you they've seen it with anybody?
Yes, Your Honor, my best friend. This is my best friend. We've been friends since elementary school. Okay. And she would call me, and she'd be like, I just saw Darren. And I'd be like, huh? You just saw who? I just saw Darren. I was like, oh, he with another chick. Who?
All right, let me say this before for the girlfriend speaks too. A lot of times, guys, you got to watch your ladies' friends as well too, because some of them, they don't always have your best interests at heart too, because sometimes, they could, not saying what she say is true or not, but some girlfriends, it could either say stuff, yeah, I saw him with this one, I saw him with this girl and that, and then next thing you know, she could be saying that just because she don't like him and she don't want you to be with him, because maybe she's single. Because old saying go, misery does love company. Or she's saying this and that, the other about him, just so y'all could break up. Then maybe she'll try to talk to him and make a move on him. Maybe because she liking him and feeling him. So that's something that you ladies need to think about as well. Anyway, let's continue.
All right, would you please stand up and come to the podium so we get your testimony? Would you state your name for the record?
DeAndre Morgan.
Miss Morgan, what is your relationship with the defendant? We know what your relationship is with Miss Isaac, but what's your relationship with him?
I've known me and Tanya been friends since elementary, but around middle school time, I actually was conversating with Darren on the phone.
Okay.
And then he just disappeared. When I did see Darren again, him and Tanya was actually together. At that time, I hadn't spoke on anything or said anything to her right at the moment because you know how friends get thinking.
Yeah.
You know, so I was actually in Texas, and I was walking out of the restaurant, going to the car, and he was pulled up right onto the neutral ground, it was like outlet with different little restaurants and stores. And so when I seen him, I noticed him. I'm like, oh, Darren. I'm like, what's Tonyelle? I'm like, who is Tonyelle? So then I was to the point.
Was he with anybody?
Yes.
He was with a woman.
Yes.
Oh.
When I noticed him walking like around the car, I noticed him completely because he changes his little swag. He stayed with his little glasses on, looking like he intelligent one moment. And so when I see him getting out of the vehicle, that's when I said, oh, Darren. Or whatever, he turned around and looked. I'm like, what's Tonyelle at? He was like, who the? It's Tonyelle.
That's because that wasn't me.
But you think it was...
Oh, knock it off, man. Come on, man. She knew it was you. It wasn't you wouldn't have responded. Come on, man. Come on, man. You was busted, dude. Come on. You was busted, man. Gotta keep it real. See, that's what I'm saying, guys. Also, too, like I said, if you know that I'm the type of man that's gonna be running around and messing around, and you want to mess with this woman, you be upfront, honest, and let her know, hey, I like you, feeling you, but hey, I'm still seeing other people now. If she decides to want to go with that and want to roll with that and be like, okay, cool. But then if she's the type of woman that, hey, that says, no, I'm a one, if I'm only messing with somebody, just going to be you and I, me and you, no one else, then you got a decision to make, man. You got a decision to make. Is you going to cut all these other people off and just deal with her one-on-one faithfully? Or you just gonna, not mess with her or whatever and just keep doing you. The same goes for you. Thing goes for ladies as well too. If you get with a guy and you know that you're not ready to be fully faithful to that guy, you be upfront. You let him know that, hey, I like you. I'm gonna date you, but I'm also dating someone else as well, dating other people as well. Then guys, you have a decision to make. But don't say, same with the ladies go. Don't say that you want to be with this man, be faithful to him or whatever, and then you out there messing around with other guys. People just got to be upfront and honest with each other. Saves you a lot of time and a lot of trouble. All right, let's continue.
Was him because he at least responded to you.
Yes. This whole story made up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't believe nothing she said because she, one of them friends, that's always in our business trying to break us up. That's one of the main reasons.
Hey, let me say this real quick too. When you're in a relationship with somebody and your woman has a friend like this that's always sticking their nose in y'all business, then you need to have a talk with your lady and say, hey, yeah, if that's your friend, you can be your friend, fine, but your friend need to stay out of our relationship. And if she doesn't respect that, then you have to let her go. Or she can't cut her friend off while y'all in a relationship, and, then you gotta let it go. And then ladies, that's another problem you do too as well too. You have issues with your man, then you run back and tell your girlfriend, and then your girlfriend is sticking her nose in y'all business. Your relationship should just be between you two, not your girlfriend, not your sister, not your cousins, or anyone else. The relationship is between both you and your man. Same goes for the men as well. All right, let's continue.
We moved out of Louisiana.
I'm the friend. Yeah, he's the one who actually told Tanya that he didn't know me.
All right, thank you, Miss Morgan. You can have a seat.
And let me say this too. I hope that wasn't the only reason why they moved out of Louisiana, because of her friends to her business. Because even if she moved, she still could talk to her friend on social media, or she could still talk to her via telephone. So moving from one state to another, it's not going to make a bit of a difference. First, shouldn't be in a shouldn't be sticking her nose in the relationship anyway. She needs to be worrying about her own relationship instead of sticking her nose in her friend's relationship. All right, let's continue.
Mr. Guillory, now you've known Miss Morgan since you all were kids, right?
I don't know her. I don't know her. She lied.
You did not know her.
Mr. Guillory, Mr. Guillory, look at me.
Yes, sir.
This is very serious because your future is at stake right here. Now, you and Miss Morgan have known each other since you were kids, correct?
Yeah, I knew her from around the way. Everybody know her.
Okay.
But you just didn't know her.
What reason would she have to make this up?
I don't know. That's what people do when they see two people happy and they might be miserable in their life. They won't come in between that.
He's absolutely right. Some people do that. It's old saying, "Go misery loves company." So a lot of times she probably ain't happy. She's single. She don't have her man, and she see her girlfriend happy with her man. Then a lot of times some friends will stick their nose in your business and try to break them up because simple fact is that she look the way this lady looks. She looks like she's still the type of party like the person like to go clubbing and partying and all that stuff. And maybe her friend who's with this guy here, she probably used to hang out in club with her too, but since she's locked down, with this man, she probably now she don't have her out there clubbing. So maybe she is probably trying to ruin and wreck their relationship so so she can have her buddies still hanging out with her, probably going out party, clubbing and drinking and things of that nature too. So you gotta, so old saying go, you gotta watch your woman's friends. Because a lot of times how their friends are is most of the time is how your woman is. Your woman has her girl has a girlfriend or have girlfriends who's wild. I'm pretty sure that your girlfriend's probably kind of wild too. Anyway, let's continue.
She's not the only one making up stories like this. It's a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? People from off my side and her side. You know what I'm saying? People come tell me stuff about her, but I don't believe it. I don't take it to her.
And that's why you all moved from
That's why we moved from Louisiana.
Okay.
Let me say this real quick too. A lot of times people say stuff, some stuff it could be true, some stuff is true, but you gotta, take it in consideration, keep it in the back of your mind, and don't worry about believing it or nothing like that until you actually find proof or till it reveals or show what they were saying is true, because people could say anything and it might not be true. All right, let's continue.
Because that's the kind of people that's there.
So you got all these folks, family, friends, loved ones near and far, just throwing hate at you.
That's it. That's it.
Ooh, but your story is, and what you're telling this court, and what you're telling Miss Isaac, is since you all have been together, you have not cheated on her with anybody. Correct?
Correct.
Nobody in Louisiana.
Nobody.
Nobody in Houston.
None of that.
Nobody anywhere.
Anywhere.
All right, let me say this before they continue. Get the results here. If you know you've been messing around, it's best to and especially you decide to go on, a court show like this where they're going to give you a lie detector test to see if you're telling the truth or not. And I feel in this situation like this, let me say this. If you are going to go on a court show like this and a person if your girlfriend is going to take you on a court show like this to prove that you see if you're cheating and want you to take a lie detector test, then just my personal opinion, you should have her take a lie detector test as well too. Because even though she want to see if you're cheating, who's to say that she hasn't been out there cheating or have cheated? So I feel that both people should do it. Not only the person who's taking the other person to do it, both people should do it. Both the men and women. That's just my opinion and perspective on that. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
All right. So here's what we got, love. Miss Isaac believes that he's cheating. She has put her engagement ring on the podium and said, it's either going to go with him or go with me, depending on what happens today. And that's where we are.
And hopefully Mr. Guillory understands the gravity of this moment.
I do.
All right.
I understand.
All right. Well, to get to the bottom of this court has done a full and a complete investigation. At this time, we'll call licensed polygraph examiner Kendall Scholl to determine, is he cheating? Kendall Scholl. Now, you conducted a polygraph examination on Mr. Guillory, is that correct?
I did, Your Honor.
You asked Mr. Guillory, since moving to Texas, have you had sexual intercourse with any woman other than Miss Isaac? What was his response to that question?
He said no, Your Honor.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that it was being truthful, Your Honor.
You gotta get lipstick on me, man. I told
We got one more.
I see you're happy. I see a big smile on your face. I see a smile on Mr. Guillory's face.
I want more.
We have one more question.
Mr. Shule, you asked Mr. Guillory, have you had sexual intercourse with any woman other than Miss Isaac since starting your relationship? What was his answer?
He said no, Your Honor.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that it was being deceptive.
Okay.
Right, Mr. Guillory? Who were the women, or who was the woman that you were with?
Well, maybe in the beginning of our relationship, I probably...
Not a maybe.
I stepped out with my ex once, in the beginning of our relationship.
You know what, Mr. Guillory? The hardest thing to me about being an adult is saying I am responsible for what I do. The good, the bad, the ugly. And until you are willing to be that.
She's absolutely right. Yeah, I agree with Judge 100% on that. You got to be 100%. You got to be transparent, and especially when you're going to come on a show like this on national TV, you got to be upfront and honest and be straightforward. But also, like I say, not only should he be on trial, he should have her take a test as well too. Both of them.